Chapter 1, The Perfect Storm. Foxborough, Massachusetts, early spring. The snow had finally melted around Gillette Stadium, but the chill lingering in the air was nothing compared to the cold front sweeping through the New England Patriots organization. Bill Belichick, the stoic and steel-nerved head coach, had always managed to stay above the fray. For decades, his strategy-first, emotion-last leadership earned him 6 Super Bowl rings and a legacy that seemed bulletproof. But now, it was all unraveling, fast. At the heart of the media maelstrom, Jordon Hudson, the 24-year-old former beauty queen, philosophy major, and recent addition to Belichick's tightly controlled inner circle. Their friendship, as Belichick's publicist hastily described it, had raised eyebrows from the moment Hudson was spotted in the Patriots' luxury suite. The whispers turned into roars when TMZ released footage of Belichick and Hudson at a Nantucket gala. They weren't doing anything illegal, just laughing, maybe too intimately. But in a culture obsessed with optics, age gaps, and power dynamics, it was enough. Headlines exploded across every platform. Coach and coquette, is Belichick's focus elsewhere? New England Patriot or old school playbook? Jordon Hudson, the Yoko Ono of the Patriots? Belichick, the man known for saying less than a monk at a vow of silence retreat, was forced into a spotlight he despised. Worse, the team's off-season acquisitions were being overshadowed. Sponsors were pulling out. Season ticket holders threatened boycotts. Something had to be done. Chapter 2, The Closed-Door Meeting. In the bowels of Gillette Stadium, Belichick sat opposite Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Between them, silence, stale coffee, and a public relations crisis thick enough to cut with a lineman's cleat. "Bill," Kraft said, massaging his temples, "you've given me everything. Championships. Respect. But this? This is getting out of hand." Belichick stared at the table. No notepad. No diagrams. Just quiet rage behind his icy blue eyes. "I didn't do anything wrong," he said, voice low. "I didn't say you did," Kraft replied. "But we both know perception is reality." Silence again. Kraft slid a manila folder across the table. "Our crisis team drafted a plan. You'll need to create distance. Publicly. Immediately. We'll spin it as a professional reset. Say she's stepping back for personal growth, school, whatever." Belichick's jaw tightened. "And if I don't?" Kraft leaned back. "Then maybe it's time we talk succession planning. You've always said no one's bigger than the team. Prove it." Chapter 3, The Sideline Shuffle. The next morning, Jordon Hudson received a text. "Meeting. My office. 10 a.m., BB." She showed up early, wearing a crisp navy blue dress and a look that mixed confidence with confusion. She knew the whispers. She saw the memes. But she didn't expect this. Belichick didn't waste time. "They're asking me to put distance between us," he said bluntly. "Publicly." Jordon laughed, a short, bitter sound. "You're firing me from what exactly? Your unofficial intern? Your muse?" "Don't," he snapped. "This isn't personal. It's survival." She stood, hands trembling, and tossed a Patriots lanyard on his desk. "You know what, Bill? Maybe the old guard was right. The second you show a shred of humanity, they eat you alive. Good luck with your robot empire." And with that, she walked out, leaving behind the headlines, the scandal, and a coach who had once thought himself untouchable. Chapter 4, Damage Control. The press release dropped 48 hours later. Jordon Hudson has decided to step away from her role in the Patriots organization to focus on her academic and philanthropic endeavors. Coach Belichick and the team wish her all the best in her future pursuits. The media bought it. Sort of. She was never officially employed, some pointed out. Convenient timing, others sneered. But the Patriots' media machine was relentless. Positive stories were leaked: Belichick mentoring young quarterbacks, organizing charity clinics, attending team BBQs, a first. And then came the bombshell interview, Belichick on 60 Minutes. Stoic as ever, but humanized. "I've made mistakes," he said to Anderson Cooper. "I've let distractions cloud my judgment. Football isn't about headlines. It's about the team." Cue the redemption arc. Chapter 5, The Fallout. Jordon, now in New York, did her own round of press. A GQ profile painted her as misunderstood, sharp, and tragically swept up in a man's war with his own image. Podcasts and talk shows booked her back-to-back. She flirted with a book deal titled, In the Shadow of the Hoodie. She never confirmed a romantic relationship with Belichick, but she never denied it either. In the locker room, some players joked behind closed doors. Others were relieved to have the circus gone. But the damage was done. The 2025 season began with a fractured fan base, relentless paparazzi, and a locker room unsure whether its captain was still the stoic strategist they once worshipped. Chapter 6, One Last Play. Midway through the season, the Patriots were 4-4. Mediocre. Rumors of Belichick's retirement resurfaced. But then, something changed. Against all odds, the team began to click. The defense became a fortress. A rookie QB found his rhythm. And Belichick? He smiled. Once. Maybe twice. In the AFC Championship, as the Patriots faced the Chiefs in a cold, hostile Arrowhead Stadium, Belichick called a play so bold, so uncharacteristically risky, it stunned everyone. It worked. They won. In the post-game press conference, a reporter asked, "Coach, was that call redemption or revenge?" Belichick paused. "Neither," he said. "It was football." Epilogue. Months later, a paparazzi photo made the rounds, Belichick at a Cape Cod bookstore. Alone. Reading The Republic by Plato. A subtle nod to Jordon Hudson, who once quoted it to him during a press box debate on leadership. No comment followed. Because for Bill Belichick, the scandal was over. The play had been called. And history would decide whether it was genius or desperation. But either way, the hoodie remained. And so did the legend. Sure. Here's a long fictional story based on your prompt. Title: The Sidelines Scandal, Bill Belichick's Desperate Play. In the glittering corridors of American sports and media, few names have commanded as much respect, or scrutiny, as Bill Belichick. A coaching mastermind, a six-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, and a man whose scowl was as iconic as his playbook. But in the summer of 2025, Belichick found himself at the center of a scandal so explosive that even his stone-cold sideline demeanor began to crack. It all started innocuously enough: a photo leaked. There was Belichick, 72, seated beside a stunningly attractive, much younger woman on a private yacht off the coast of Nantucket. Sun-kissed and smiling, of all things. The woman was Jordon Hudson, a 24-year-old former cheerleader turned aspiring influencer and motivational speaker. She had become a minor online sensation for her viral TikToks about manifesting success and dating high-value men. No one expected that one of those men would be the most stone-faced figure in NFL history. The caption on her now-deleted Instagram post read simply, "Manifested a legend #BB #LegacyLove." The internet imploded. Overnight, Belichick went from being a revered football tactician to a meme. Social media lit up with jokes, fan edits, and outrage. Sports pundits who once called him a genius now accused him of indulging in a grotesque midlife, or rather, post-retirement, crisis. The age gap alone, 48 years, fueled countless think pieces on ethics, power dynamics, and male privilege in the NFL. But the real bombshell came when The Athletic released an exposé titled Hudson's Game Plan: Inside Jordan's Climb Up the Social Ladder. The article alleged that Hudson had been shopping around for a high-profile older man to boost her brand and had deliberately positioned herself in Belichick's orbit after a TEDx talk he attended in Cambridge. It included leaked messages, anonymous sources from within Belichick's camp, and even a quote from a former Patriot staffer: "He's always been about the game, but lately, it's like he's playing a different kind of sport." Belichick was humiliated. Sponsors pulled out of his upcoming football documentary, The Patriot Mind. ESPN reevaluated a potential analyst role. Even Robert Kraft, longtime owner of the Patriots and a man no stranger to PR dust-ups, issued a carefully worded statement emphasizing his disappointment in recent events. In desperation, Belichick made a move that stunned everyone: he sidelines Jordon Hudson. Publicly, he issued a terse statement through his longtime agent. "While I value the time I've spent with Jordan, I recognize that my legacy in football and my responsibilities to the sport come first. I've made the decision to step away from personal relationships that may distract from that mission." Privately, however, things were far messier. Jordon Hudson did not go quietly. Within days of Belichick's announcement, she posted a now viral TikTok video titled, "When a man uses you for relevance then ghosts you like a coward," a clear jab at Belichick. She shared blurry screenshots of their messages, showing pet names like Coach Babe and Little Genius, and referenced unfulfilled promises, including an alleged guest speaking spot at the NFL Combine. But she didn't stop there. She launched a podcast titled Red Flags and Playbooks, the inaugural episode of which was simply titled The Hoodie and the Hypocrite. It racked up 2 million downloads in 48 hours. She painted Belichick as emotionally distant, controlling, and obsessed with legacy to the point of delusion. While she stopped short of accusing him of any illegal behavior, the insinuations were damaging enough to send shockwaves through the sports world. Suddenly, Belichick wasn't just a scandal-plagued icon, he was a cautionary tale. Retreating from the spotlight, Belichick holed up in a secluded estate in Vermont, reportedly devoting himself to writing a book on leadership. But sources close to him said he was deeply shaken. "He thought he could control the narrative," said one former colleague. "He forgot that outside of football, you don't call the plays." And yet, the world wasn't done with him. As if fate had a twisted sense of humor, the NFL announced that the 2025 Hall of Fame class would include Belichick, honoring his unparalleled achievements. The timing couldn't have been worse. Belichick was set to be enshrined in Canton amid the worst PR disaster of his career. With public pressure mounting, the NFL considered postponing the induction. But Belichick, ever the strategist, made one final play. He called an exclusive interview with 60 Minutes. The interview was raw, unprecedented. For the first time in his career, Belichick dropped the coach persona. He admitted he had lost focus, that he had underestimated the world outside the game, and that he had let personal emotions cloud professional judgment. He didn't mention Jordan by name, but his regret was palpable. "I've always believed in preparation," he said. "But nothing prepares you for your own missteps going viral." The interview sparked a surprising wave of sympathy. Not forgiveness, but understanding. Commentators called it a masterclass in damage control. Some fans even rallied behind him, arguing that he'd been ensnared by a fame-hungry influencer. And Jordan? She doubled down, releasing a self-published memoir titled Coach, Clout and Consequences. It shot to the top of Amazon's celebrity nonfiction chart. She signed a deal with Netflix for a dramatized limited series based loosely on her experiences. The show was titled Fourth Down Love. In the end, both emerged changed, but not destroyed. Belichick, once the untouchable general of gridiron warfare, had been humanized, even humbled. He returned to the NFL, not as a coach, but as a senior advisor for a rebuilding team. Quiet, stern, and no longer the icon he once was, but perhaps something rarer, a legend who learned.